When we passed through the Bahamas in 2017 on our way north from the Caribbean, we met boats that had been wintering there for years. 17 years, 20 years, even 30 seasons sailing just the Bahamas. We laughed. How could you return to the same patch of islands year after year? And then, after our second season, we had to tear ourselves away. Now we get it. Oh, that water, that sand, the hunting, the fishing, the people, and oh, that water, it's addicting. Today, while the Abacos and Grand Bahama are recovering from Hurricane Dorian, we want to show you just a small slice of the Exumas. The Exumas are a very, very special place. On the east side is deep water with good fishing. On the west side, through narrow cuts between the keys, the water's mostly 10 to 20 feet deep and calm in comparison to the open ocean. Let's start at Highborn Key. This is an easy jaunt from Nassau, so there's a lot of traffic. Seaplanes and tour boats blow through here from dawn to dusk. Not really our scene. So we like to hang out just a little further south at Oyster Key. If the winds are just right, Lobster Key and Long Key are also nice, with fantastic diving and snorkeling to the east. But again, you gotta watch those tides and currents. It really sweeps through here. South from here, we're at Norman's Key. You might be familiar with the submerged DC-3 airplane at the south end. Anchoring here means a swift current pushing you in and out of the wind. It's kind of annoying. So we prefer tucking up along the west side of the island. From here, we can dinghy to great freediving spots where giant grouper and turtles hang out. A real diamond among gems, just to the south, we find Shroud Key at the north end of the Exumas Land and Sea Park. While the mooring field is nice and gives good protection, we prefer the solitude of Freshwater Bay just around the corner to the north. The Tidal Creeks are a fun place to paddleboard with complete protection from the waves. By dinghy, it's a quick trip through the mangroves to reach the other side of the island, where we can ride the tide and play in the shallows. Sugar just loved it here and hung out with new friends.
This day at Shroud Key was one of my favorite cruising days of all time. The friendship, the dogs, the perfect weather, the lack of people at the other end of that pool. I mean, it is absolutely priceless. Hawksbill Key is next on our way south. It looks wide open, but most of this is too shallow for most boats. On shore there are hiking trails and ruins, but mostly we just like playing in the pool. If the winds are up, it can be a bumpy ride past the cuts at Danger Key where the chain bends east. But past the Long Rock Bore, we can take the next cut east to Wardrick Wells. Tides run strong and the moorings are often all taken, but this is one of the most picturesque spots in the Exumas. The hiking is good, and for a very stiff fee, you can get internet speeds reminiscent of 1997. We've never seen him, but we love to hang out off Johnny Depp's island, called Little Hall's Pond. It's a private spot, and we like Johnny's sign. Another of our favorite spots is just around the corner from here, the anchorage at O'Brien's Key. The aquarium and sand flats are a short dinghy ride away, and after the sun goes down, the tour boats disappear. Cambridge Key can be a good spot to wait out foul weather, but moorings usually aren't our style, so anchored well, tucked up behind Bell Island, is a good alternative. From here, it's truly a playground. The caves of Rocky Dundas are a fun stop at low tide, and just the other side of Conch Cut, Rachel's Bubble Bath at the north end of Compass Key is a cross between spa and water park. But for the more adventurous, Foul Key provides access to reefs that few others seem to visit.
We avoid the marinas, but for a small landing fee, Compass Key Marina is a tourist spectacle. And if you want to pet a nurse shark, this is probably one of the safer spots to do it. South of Compass Key is the area known as Pike Creek, bounded by Joe Key, Thomas Key, Over Yonder Key, Rat Key, Little Pipe Key, and Pipe Key itself. This series of tidal sandbars, channels, reefs, and cuts is like being on another planet. It's spectacular. But it's going to take you a shoal draft boat and expert navigation to get through here safely. It might be more relaxing for most folks to anchor outside and take their dinghies in. And for that reason, we often have it all to ourselves. No need to tell you about Staniel Key, the Grotto, and Pig Beach, as you've probably already heard of them. This is a good place to fly into or pick up some groceries, but the crowds are too much for us anymore. We prefer to anchor a few miles away and dinghy in from Samson Key. And the same really goes for Black Point. While a lot of folks love Black Point Settlement on Great Guana Key, we like to grab our laundry and just keep moving. Too many tourist boats for us. Heading further south, White Point Beach is an open bay that can be a bit rolly if the winds aren't just right. But more so than not, we have the place mostly to ourselves. Hiking looks pretty enticing, but good shoes are a must because there are thorns everywhere.
Farmers Key is a popular spot with a good restaurant and moorings available. But for a bit more solitude, just a little further south, we can get into the big open bay at Big Farmers on a high tide. In the corner of the bay is a tidal creek with little sharks darting around. If they are around, you might hear the island's goats as well. Heading further south, the small anchorage at Big Galliot Key is worth an overnight with good protection from the trade winds. Musha Key and Ruddercut Key are popular stops for cruisers and the boat tour operators. Caves, free diving to the sunken piano, and spearfishing are pretty good. With a shallow draft boat, you can tuck right up into the beach and listen to the birds. But to avoid the crowds, the adventurous can head a few miles south to Prime Key. You'll need a high tide to get in and out of this one. This is shark and turtle territory, so get ready for plenty of both. Boats have wrecked here over the years, and we found human bones on the eastern side of the island. There's even a small makeshift memorial. Shallow draft boats can navigate the shoals to the south, but everyone else needs to take the cuts to get down to Lee Stocking and Norman's Pond Keys. Spearfishing and lobstering are good here, but you need to know what you're doing as currents race through these waters, and this is major shark territory.
We chased a 12-foot tiger shark around for a bit and decided not to snorkel that day. One of our all-time favorite islands is Lee Stocking. A lot of other boats have discovered the Marine Research Center too, that was abandoned a long time ago. So to find some seclusion, we head further south down to Williams Bay. Now, the tour boats will come and go through here sometimes, so it's best to keep moving during winter break and spring break times. More tricky navigation if you want to stay in shallow water, but it's just as easy to head out through one of the cuts down to the top of Great Exuma Island. Our favorite close-in spots up north are Black Key and the underwater caves off Sugar Key. Of course, most folks know about Georgetown.
We just came into Georgetown, left this morning from Williams, and left at 8 a.m., got here at 11:30, ran to the grocery store, got tons of groceries, threw all the garbage away. We're all set to hoist the anchor and head right back up to Lee Stocking. So got some more eggs, a few other veggies. Wasn't the best pickings, but anyway, last time in Georgetown.
It's a very popular spot with good protection, easy provisioning, and an international airport. But Elizabeth Harbor often hosts 300 or more cruising boats during the peak of the season. That's a bit crowded for us, so we like to get in, get our groceries, and get out. If winds are right and the swell isn't bad, Goat Key is a nice spot to be just close enough to the action. We like to anchor here and hike over the hill to get our propane bottles filled up. We also really like the Red Shanks anchorages to the south and east of the main anchorages. A little tough to get into, but you get protection from cold fronts, and hiking on Crab Key is excellent. Officially, Crab Key is all private property, and you'll find signs saying that. But like many spots in the Bahamas, development took a break some years back and just never got going again. After spending 2 full seasons in the Bahamas, we're starting to agree with the long-timers here. There seem to be endless opportunities to explore, to find solitude, and enjoy that spectacular water. And I hope we see you out there. Thanks for watching, everyone. We really appreciate your comments and suggestions, and of course, the likes and subscriptions. If you didn't know, we also have a podcast that you can find on iTunes and Stitcher, where we share a bit more behind the scenes and personal stuff. Hope to see you over there as well. Take care.